Alright, so I guess I didn't fully explain what we were doing in this weapon series. In the month of January, we were going to originally do top 10 weapons of anime. But how can you choose these weapons when they're all so different? Some are iconic, some are powerful, and some are just weird. So for this month, we decided to split that list into 3. Top 10 weirdest weapons, top 10 most iconic weapons, and top 10 most powerful weapons. As part of this being a series, we are going to reserve some anime titles so we don't sound biased and repetitive. Basically, if you don't see an anime you think should have been on one list, it may be mentioned on another list. Since we just covered up top 10 weirdest weapons, we're now going to cover the most iconic weapons. This list has one rule, and that is choosing the weapons we can easily recognize. A weapon that stands out by design and maybe have an awesome backstory to it. We took all the recognizable weapons of anime and made this list for you. So here we go, top 10 most iconic weapons in anime. The maneuver gear from Attack on Titan. Now, we're not specifically talking about the flying gear itself. Although they're cool to fly with, they're not weapons per se. Still, they do kinda help the soldiers fight off the Titans, so they can count. What we're looking at are the swords themselves, and yeah, you know where the swords are from since they look different. Not really looking like typical swords, they're more like long knives attached to rifles ready to carve into the Titans. Stylish and practical, the maneuver gear and swords really are iconic weapons in the anime world. Number 9. The Dominators from Psycho Pass. Now, there are a lot of guns in the anime world, but this one to us really stands out. It's state-of-the-art technology that can only be operated by enlisted inspectors and enforcement officers. It's got several modes, from non-lethal paralyzers to lethal eliminators. That guy exploded. That's what I call lethal. He just exploded. So we got a very lethal weapon here that looks freaking awesome to hold. I mean, just look at it. Don't you wish you had one? I just had my first rainbow vomit of 2016. Well, it can't hurt anybody, but it's another shiny object I want. The Dominators from Psycho Pass. They just look so cool. Number 8. A stick? A stick. What makes this thing memorable? Oh! Okay, I deserve that. Goku's Power Pole from Dragon Ball. Before Goku became a powerful Super Saiyan, he was training to be the best while using his trusty Power Pole. It's sturdy, can smack numerous foes in his way, can chop down some swords, and can stretch up to unlimited heights, thus helping him fly over any obstacle before he knew how to fly. Though he has no need for it as an adult, it was a pretty cool tool for him to use as a kid. Number 7. The Elucidator and Dark Repulsor from Sword Art Online. What? Yes, everyone knows I hate this show. I not only hate it, but I loathe it to the point where every subscriber to Anime America knows my undying rage for this poorly written show. Still, I can't exclude these swords because I hate the show. With all the Kirito cosplayers out there carrying these swords, everyone knows these swords and where they're from, whether they like the show or not. I'll admit, as half-assed and emotionally manipulative the story can be, at least the anime was creative with their weapons. With every online MMORPG, weapons had to be creative and their own identity. In the world of Aincrad, the Elucidator and the Dark Repulsor stand out from the crowd, and are well-known weapons in anime. the Dragon Slayer from Berserk. Guts is known to carry large swords. In the Golden Era, he stood out from the mercenary with his tall frame and huge sword. But if there's one weapon we have to talk about, it's the Black Swordsman's gigantic blade, the Dragon Slayer. This particular sword was first made to meet the king's proclamation to make a sword strong enough to slay a dragon. However, the blacksmith Goto made a weapon so big no one could wield it, so he just tossed it away in his shop, never to be used again. Once the eclipse went down, Guts discovered the sword during a fight against an apostle, whereupon the Black Swordsman wielded it with ease and shot Goto the blacksmith. Ever since then, Guts has used the Dragon Slayer to take down numerous spirits, monsters, and apostles who stand in his way. Most of this actually happened in the manga, but Young Animal magazine recently announced a new anime for Berserk which will tell the tale of Guts as the Black Swordsman. In time, we'll finally see more of Guts and this legendary blade in action. Number 5. Bitches love cannons. There! I said it. Are you happy now? The Hard Cannon 1 and 2 from Hellsing. I like to add that Alucard's Kazul and Jackal are memorable weapons, as well as Walter's Microphilia Mint wires. But out of all the weapons that were beautifully shown in Hellsing, we gotta give this place to Ceres's Hard Cannons. The first one made by Walter was pretty much a portable cannon only Ceres could use. Powerful enough to take down a military tank, Ceres could use the weapon to take down any target no matter how far away they were. And then there's the Hard Cannon 2. Now that's overkill, but I don't care. The Hard Cannons. 2 cannons loved by bitches and audiences worldwide. Number 4. Madoka's Bow from Puella Magi Madoka Magica. The very bow that reshaped the universe and looks so pretty to use. Now, we did debate on putting this bow on most powerful weapons, but felt that compared to a lot of other powerful destructive weapons, what kind of damage does Madoka's bow do? Well, before she became a goddess and during some of the alternate timelines, Madoka had a pretty powerful bow that would help her take down witches. As a goddess, however, she uses the bow to reshape the universe while removing witches from history, thus preventing magical girls from turning into witches ever again. That's a pretty cool technique, but it wasn't what we were looking for on top 10 most powerful weapons. As an icon, however, well, look at it. I'm actually fascinated by this bow given how typical looking all the other weapons were in the show. It's just so pretty. A suitable weapon for a goddess, Madoka's bow is truly one of a kind. Number 3. You really thought silverware was more notable than this, baby? Rel's Chainsaw from Black Butler. Rel is a Grim Reaper who customized their death scythe since they thought the traditional scythes are too old-fashioned. Okay, Grell, describe old-fashioned since William Spears uses a pruner and Ronald Knox has a lawnmower. Those are not typical death scythes to me. I'll admit, out of all the death scythes in Black Butler, Grell seems more affiliated with death. I mean, there's gardening tools and then there's the English Chainsaw Massacre. And if anything, did you see how he took out Madame Red? That's brutal. Chainsaws are pretty typical in horror films, but when one was customized to be a death scythe, it was transformed into a memorable weapon for a memorable character. Number 2. Tessaiga from Inuyasha. Another big badass sword from a classic anime. The Tessaiga was once wielded by Inuyasha's father, Ino no Taisha. After his fatal fight with Takimaru, Ino no Taisha's remains, along with the Tessaiga, were consigned to the Gateway region of the Netherworld, in which the Gateway itself was sealed within a black pearl that was hidden in Inuyasha's eye. Well, that's just convenient. This was the first of many indications that he reserved the mastery of the sword to his youngest son, Inuyasha. Sesshomaru, however, was not willing to accept that and wanted the sword for his own. He forces Inuyasha to surrender the pearl from his eye, opens the portal, and the two fight over the right to wield their father's sword. However, a barrier was placed on the sword, warding away human-hating yokais, especially Sesshomaru. The Tessaiga at first looks pretty worn and old, but once Inuyasha gets his hands on it, the Tessaiga transforms into its gigantic form and is ready to kick some ass. And takes out Sesshomaru's arm. Brotherly love. The Tessaiga, an overly powerful sword that everyone in the anime world knows and loves. Before we move forward, here are some honorable mentions. And the number one most iconic weapon in anime is... The Tessaiga came really close to being number one, but there was one other weapon that seemed to stick out the most. A weapon so creative, unique, and memorable that any anime fan would know what it is and where it's from. Seriously, it's that memorable. You can just look at it and say, "Oh hey, it's the scissor blade from Kill la Kill." Yeah, that's what would happen. The Scissor Blades from Kill la Kill. Creativity at its finest, Kill la Kill created a one-of-a-kind sword that anyone can recognize. While other weapons in anime stick to traditional weapons with some modifications, these are giant scissor blades that can take on multiple forms. To be fair, there have been scissors used in the past, but never before have we seen scissors turn into singular blades and looked this badass. Plus, the story behind it is amazing. Ryoko Matoi holds the red scissor blade, and she transfers to Honnoji Academy to search for the other blade and the one who used it to kill her father. Wait. Do we have the anime equivalents to Indigo Montoya? Hello, my name is Ryoko Matoi. You killed my father. Prepare to die. I just couldn't help myself with that. Nonetheless, Kill la Kill took a common household item and turned it into a weapon that's badass looking and has an awesome backstory. For those reasons alone, the scissor blades from Kill la Kill are the most recognizably iconic weapons in anime. Like I said before, this is all part of our weapons series for the month of January. First was Weirdest Weapons in Anime, you just watched Most Iconic Weapons, and next up will be the most powerful weapons in anime. And again, if you didn't see an anime that should have been on one of these two videos, it'll probably be mentioned in Most Powerful Weapons. Well, maybe. Which weapons could they be? Stay tuned to Anime America. Want to support the production? Check out our brand new store on Store Envy. For a small price, you can have a one-of-a-kind poster made by yours truly. If you can only give a small amount to help us out, check out our Patreon page. Any amount you wish to give us goes towards our production needs, so anything you can give us helps us a lot. To keep up with the latest in Anime America stuff, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even Tumblr. Be sure to like, favorite, and subscribe to Anime America for more awesome reviews and top 10 lists. If you're interested in anything of pop culture, be sure to subscribe to Pop Spectrum. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned to Anime America.